check out the fuzzy goodness of this kombucha. So you've brewed some kombucha and you've tried it, but it's not fizzy and it doesn't have the flavor that you're hoping for. Introducing the second fermentation. Hey y'all, I'm Erica with Instar. I'm your garden consultant and homestead expert. I'm gonna help you with the second fermentation for kombucha. The second fermentation is the process in which you take your home-brewed kombucha and you feed it a sugar source like a fruit juice or a fruit syrup, and you put it away in a closet or cabinet for 2 to 7 days with that juice infused, and you'll get some incredible flavor and extra bubbliness. It's important that you practice this step safely, and so I highly recommend getting bottles specifically for fermentation. These are all linked on my website under favorite products. You don't want to have a bottle explode. It can happen from the pressure that's building up, and so I'm going to show you how to do it right. What type of juice you use depends on what you're going for. So I have pureed fruit juice before. I highly recommend straining it if you want to infuse it with your kombucha. Otherwise, you might get some little chunky bits like that, but if you don't mind that, go for it. I'm going to flavor my kombucha this round with some elderberry syrup because it's already in the perfect form. It's light, it's going to mix really easily, and I think the flavor and medicinal benefits of infusing elderberry into my kombucha is going to be awesome. Here are the materials that you're going to need. Some finished kombucha, some bottles specifically designed for fermentation, a spout. I personally like to use these pH strips in order to test the pH of my kombucha if it's ready, but you can also taste it to know when it's ready for second fermentation. And your fruit juice, or in this case, syrup. Brewing your own kombucha takes about 7 to 10 days, depending on the temperature and how much you fed your SCOBY. So it's been 7 to 10 days, and the first thing I'm going to do is test it by taste. All right, it's a little sour and a little bit of sweet. If it's still more sweet than it is sour, then it is likely not ready. As soon as you get a good balance of sour and sweet, it likely is. If you want to use a pH strip to confirm the pH of your kombucha and know that it's ready for second fermentation, all you have to do is just put some in your cup and swish around a little pH strip, let this dry, and then compare your strip to the color chart. I am right about at 3.0, which is perfect for second fermentation. So I'm a big fan of this particular glass crock because of the spigot. I don't have to take the SCOBY out. It's really easy to just pull out the amount of kombucha I need. I place my funnel in my jar here, turn it on, and I'm gonna let it fill just to about where we start to see a curve, and then I'm gonna fill it with the syrup. It's important that you don't overfill your cups to help prevent explosions. You can see I filled it just right to that line. So once you've filled your bottles to about shoulder height, you're gonna go ahead and add your fruit juice. I'm using the elderberry syrup. You don't need very much, and you wanna be mindful of not going too high in the neck in order to prevent that explosion. That's about all I need in order to help the second fermentation. And so I basically just went to the very top of the shoulder here. The next step is simple. I'm just gonna close my airtight container here, put it in a dark cabinet, and check on it in 2 to 7 days. All right, it's been a few days. Let's check on our kombucha. It's normal if you see a little mini SCOBY forming at the top or the bottom. When you're just starting out, I do recommend burping your kombucha just to get an understanding of how much time your bottle needs in your conditions with the fruit juice or fruit syrup that you're flavoring with. Otherwise, I don't recommend burping because you're basically just letting out extra carbon dioxide that could go into making your kombucha nice and bubbly. If you're not burping your kombucha, you can put it directly into the refrigerator when you know that it's ready. Let's practice burping. So for this, I recommend always keeping a thumb on top in case there's a lot of pressure. And you can see that this one burped quite a bit, so I know that this is ready. You will also know it's ready when after burping it, you see this bubbling forming in the bottle and rising to the top. As you can see on the top, there's a nice little foamy layer. This is definitely bubbly and ready to go. Let's have a taste. During second fermentation, you may get a little mini SCOBY at the top or at the bottom. So I'm going to use this guy to help filter out any of that stuff. Cheers. It's delicious. It's the perfect amount of bubbly. I love the flavor. I'm definitely going to be using elderberry syrup more often. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like and comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more garden and homesteading videos.